Good evening, everyone, and this is Gil at Camppatton Family Compound. With me tonight, we do have Tammy from Rebel Canners and Mark from Chef Tech, and it's time for the Monday Night Fireside chat, where tonight's chat topic is a little bit of, just lost his name, the author.
Shakespeare.
To Blanch or not to Blanch? That's just a question. Tis nobler in the minds of mortal men.
You are old. You're getting senile already.
I got 20 things going on at once, and once I got back into the whatever it's called, I started. I listened to that thing. I don't know how many friggin' times when I was in junior college, because my first 2 semesters was planning on doing drama. So I realized there's no money in drama.
No.
Unless you're a Kardashian, then there's plenty of money in drama if you're a Kardashian.
Wrong kind of drama.
You can't pay me enough money to deal with that kind of drama.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, I was on the lighting crew for Hamlet, 3 Characters in Search of an Author, Jesus Christ Superstar. I was lighting and sound for all of them.
That's what I did. I was in my church musicals all the time, but then high school, no. I was stage crew chief by the time I was in 11th grade.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, but so by the time I was 11, I was performing Swan Lake, tap dancing, acrobatics, and other stuff. Yes, I got Hollywood. I got sucked in through my parents who worked for the studios. So yeah, I got sucked in along with my brothers.
Tammy, can you see Gil in ballet slippers doing a toe stand? No, neither can I. Don't lie.
Hey, when I got married, when I was 30 years old, I only weighed 150, and there was not an ounce of fat on this body.
So you did wear toe slippers.
Toe slippers,
and the super
shoes,
tight spandex.
Yes, I had to wear it all.
I'm going blind just thinking about it.
Oh, Mark, no.
My eyes are bleeding.
Hey, I also did ballroom dancing performing too. Now my niece and nephew, they did hip hop performing. Not hip hop, 50s, sock hop performing. So you swing and all the other stuff around and all that stuff. Yeah.
I have 2 left feet, and the poor guy in middle school dance gym class can attest that it didn't get better by the time we graduated high school. I danced with him in middle school, and I danced with him at one of our high school dances, and that was, I stepped on his feet both times. We're good. Thank you, Joe. By the way,
at least he didn't show up the second time wearing steel-toed work boots.
Yeah,
he probably should have. I think it was the senior at all-night party. I didn't go to dances at school. We were not allowed to dance. That is not Christian. That just leads to all sorts of worldly activities.
Dancing is not Christian.
No.
Oh, you watched that movie where Dirty Dancing, or the other dancing one, where Patrick Swayze's out in the field with the tractor thing and all that stuff.
Movies were not allowed at my house until I was in high school.
So you are Amish.
Okay, let me make this very clear. My great grandmother was Amish.
Oh, there you go.
My grandmother was raised by her.
So do you have lights in your house?
I
You're
have
in the car all the time.
lights.
We'll never know.
I have kerosene lights and lamps in my house. Yes, my camper has electricity hooked up to it. But we always kept the kerosene light. There was kerosene lights in every room of the house growing up. And when I had a house, I had kerosene lights in every room of my house, just in case of emergencies.
All right. Let's jump back here and say hi to everybody. So first one in was Phelan Clan Wolf, then Walt Rogers, Troop 1351, then this goofy guy down below me. Mother Earth Garden Club came in, Shady Hill Homestead, Kaylin Strain, Angel's Homestead. Cruising is fun anytime. Haven't seen him for a while. Great guy. Let's see, everybody's talking back and forth. Oh, I know you're not going to see it, but what it actually shows is the Camp Crystal Lake sign.
Yes.
Diana 2's here. Suzanne Calais is on your side, and Diana's on both sides. Yeah, that's what it looks like right now. So, yeah.
I know. It's not Camp Crystal Lake, and I forget the name of it. It's a Boy Scout camp.
Yeah, I know. Just like the oh shoot! I just lost it. Oh yeah, no! In one of the movies, the house that Wayne Manor in the 1960s TV show Batman was in a later movie here later as the oh shoot. It's something totally different, but it is a mansion, but it was like the city hall or something. It was done something like that, but it was used. The outside was used for both things. So yeah, everything gets used differently for multiple things.
All right, on to blanching.
On to blanching. Okay, for those of you that aren't sure exactly what it all entails, we're going to try to teach you something tonight. So this is the AI off of Google when you type in food blanching, especially vegetables and fruits.
Well, tomatoes are fruits, so we'll go with that.
I don't blanch my tomatoes either. I just get the skin off.
The last sentence here. The last sentence is why you might do tomatoes. Where it's a cooking technique where the food is briefly submerged in boiling water, then immersed immediately in ice cold water. This deactivates the enzymes and can cause loss of color, flavor, and texture, which is basically starts to on you. But it also helps with loosening the skins for peeling.
Yeah, and you're not blanching tomatoes, peaches. That's about the only thing I submerge. I flash in hot water and then put in cold water. It just loosens the skin, and then when you can peel it off and do what you want.
But it's still considered blanching. Yeah. And here's what was disgusting. When I first put in blanching, it didn't bring up anything about food at all.
I don't want to talk about it.
Your fingernails?
No.
It talked about skin.
Yeah. Blanching on your skin is to test for circulation. Usually you use you pinch your fingernail and see how long it takes for the color to come back.
But they were talking about a technique to lighten the skin.
Oh.
Ooh. Yes.
You're in the wrong server there.
Yeah, I don't know. You must be
that was the AI. You can tell where the millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alpha are taking the search things to. Anyways, next one. Blanching is also used as a preliminary step before freezing. It helps to preserve the quality of the produce. I know my wife does it for chard and spinach. It can also be used for preparing vegetables for quick cooking methods such as sautéing.
Chinese stir fry. So pause.
And the last one, the duration of blanching varies depending on the food being blanched, but is generally a very short time, followed by immediate shock in ice water to stop the cooking process.
So if not everybody has been to a Chinese takeout restaurant where you can see the line of the wok line. If you watch them carefully, that you order, say, just chicken and vegetables, stir fry. Mm-hmm. They take their little pan over and they pick out the snow peas, carrots, onion stuff, like whatever they need for that specific dish. They drop them in that. They all have this giant pot of water that's constantly simmering, not boiling, simmering. And they drop it in there 30 seconds. It doesn't really cook it. It blanches it, but they don't shock it in cold water. Mm-hmm. They then dip it out and put it up on the rack above, let it drain out. It cools off a little bit. Then they'll do that to the chicken, too. The chicken goes in there. It's called velveting. They'll put the chicken in there. That's why when you buy stir fry at a Chinese restaurant, all the vegetables are nice and colorful and still crispy. When we do it at home per the Good Housekeeping recipe, it's mud. Yep. You just throw it in there, just everything turns to mush because you just keep cooking it and cooking it and cooking it. you're not stir frying. Stir frying is the on steroid version of saute. Saute means to jump. So, yeah, you're doing that. And I did that with my freeze drying. I had all my stuff ready. I had a pot of water. I blanched my vegetables, and I threw them in the stir fry with the meat and stuff, and pulled it immediately out and cooled it off really quick. So when I freeze dried it and rehydrated it, they're still crunchy, almost.
Yeah. Oh, Tammy, you got somebody watching on Facebook.
Oh, thank you. Welcome.
Doesn't say who it is. I mean, they haven't made a comment, but I didn't see a Facebook comment emblem in here. Everything is YouTube, but up in the corner I can see, with one next to it.
Thank you.
Well, I sent a link over to one of my neighbors who I was talking to and gave her a magnet for her cannon. She's starting. Had a lot of questions. Let her borrow my 1982 Ball Blue book. Her name is Susan. If you're listening, Susan. Hi, Susan. But I don't know if she has a login or not. She just might be a listener. That's fine.
Yeah, lurking is fine.
Yep. Especially if you give a thumbs up. We like thumbs up.
I don't think she has.
Unfortunately, you got to log in. And then most people don't realize if you have a Gmail account, that's your YouTube login.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because hey, Google owns both.
Yes.
Shocker. And Meta. No, not Meta. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
That's a topic for another night. Yeah,
that's a Thursday night topic.
Yeah, that's a Thursday night or a deep Saturday late night topic.
Yeah.
I've been talking about the camper and RVs, and all of my ads are for dealerships for RVs in Tennessee, in Florida, in California. I'm like, I am not driving to California to buy an RV.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to pull something up here for you. It just came in. It came in during the countdown going on.
Hey, Tammy, did you get a place to stay yet at the?
Yes, I have a place to stay, and I have your tickets.
Sweet.
Right. Yes, I thought I messaged you, but it's been kind of busy.
No,
very fine. Crazy here.
I told you, if it came to it, I'd pay for them. I don't care. I'm going.
No, I got them.
In which case, I'll bring you even more lemon balm.
Yeah, it'll just cost you a little lemon balm, like a trunk.
A little. Hell, I can clear my yard out. I'm just gonna have to bring a trailer.
Yeah. Well, Tammy, you don't want to go to California anyways. Here's the headline that came in about 25 minutes ago. California car buyers face massively higher fee under new bill.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Well, and it'd take me 3 weeks to drive home.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to see between here and California.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot to see.
And I stopped to sleep.
Actually, it'll take you 4 weeks. Because when you come up to visit Yellowstone, you have to stay here for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, I have done the cross-country trip, and I've done it in a week, twice. I wouldn't do that again.
You didn't get much of a chance to see anything except at 60 miles an hour, give or take.
Well, when we traded off drivers, like my mom and dad would drive, we would go clear across country, but we were going to see those trees out there.
The big trees.
Couldn't stop here, like there's a big tree. No, we're gonna go.
Nope, gotta go see the redwoods.
Yeah. Now for blanching, getting back on topic here for at least a little bit. My mom used to blanch zucchini.
Mm-hmm.
She would, but never whole. She was always sliced thin or grated.
Cube too. I cube it. And then...
But she'd either slice it thin or grate it, and because in the grating, which she blanched it, tossed it in the freezer, she would use it for making, adding it to banana bread.
2 cups.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Put it in freezer bags in 2 cups because that's what my recipe calls for my zucchini bread is 2 cups.
Yeah.
Hey Tammy, so to be clear, would I want to blanch any vegetables if I'm going to can them, pressure canning or otherwise?
No, you don't need to. The pressure canning will stop the enzyme action.
If you do it immediately, if you're going to be tossing it in the freezer because you have so much to do,
then you'd want to blanch it. But
yeah.
But generally, you don't need to blanch before you can.
I mean, most of the time, if I'm using vegetables, they're in a soup and they're already cooked.
Yeah.
To a point, and then I go in the jar and pressure can.
And I go back and forth. The main vegetable, I've gotten away from blanching a lot. I just don't. It doesn't seem to have any better quality for freezing now. We're talking about freezing. The one I go back and forth on is corn. I like to have some corn on the cob in my freezer.
Which one works better? I've cooked my corn, I've blanched my corn, I've done it raw. None of them nothing's going to taste like you just pulled it off the plant and boiled it.
I have vacuum sealed it raw with butter in it and put it in, and boiled it right in the bag. I know they're plastics. We'll get into the chemicals later. I have done that, and some years it's done really well, and some years it was so chewy and so bad, and I'm like, oh, I should have blanched it. And then I blanch it, and I'm like,
I should have left it raw.
I should have left it raw. It's such a hard thing for me, but there are some things where you really need to do it in order for them to stay at their peak of fresh.
Now, if you're dehydrating, I don't think blanching. Oh, you do blanch?
I blanch.
Okay.
Yes.
Now for freeze drying, freeze drying a raw vegetable just makes them look really bad, and they never absorb the water. When you blanch it, you're not just killing the enzyme or whatever that's in there to make them go bad. You're also breaking the molecular level of the water, whatever molecules in there, so the moisture can leave and come back in for freeze drying.
So blanching it for freeze drying is important.
So blanch for freeze drying. Good to know. And I say I blanch for the dehydrator. I prefer to get the blanched and flash frozen dollar bags of mixed vegetables and dehydrate those.
Oh, okay.
So I say I always blanch because most of the time I am canning my fresh vegetables and I'm dehydrating when they go on sale for $1 a bag. Then I dehydrate.
Right.
Because it makes more sense. And I don't keep a freezer, so.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was. Of the three, my wife does mostly spinach, chard, and zucchini.
You got
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them she didn't blanch it, and the bag, and she vacuum sealed it, and the bag went to the bottom of the freezer by accident.
Ooh.
So she'll do stuff. She'll put it in there, and a week or two later, she'll cook it. And a week or two in the freezer isn't going to. The enzymes aren't going that long, so it's not going to bother it. But this one, after 9 months,
you thaw it out. It just turned to like mulch.
Yeah.
Mush.
Yeah, mush. Yeah. So same like with leafy vegetables. If you're going to freeze them, you got to blanch them, because if you don't, what happens when you blanch it? The water molecules inside the leafy greens will expand, and they'll explode and get limp, but then at least the water's gone. If you freeze it raw, the water droplets and the molecules will freeze, explode, and destroy the fibers around it. So when you thaw it out, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like spinach, frozen spinach is always chopped and blanched. I mean, they flash steam it when they do it in the big plants. All the leaves go through their flash steamed, and they go through a chopper, and then they put them in bags and freeze them. Or bricks, or however you bought your frozen spinach past, but it's always packed tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, herbs I do not blanch.
No,
so when we're talking about leafy greens, we're really talking about things that are, like you said, spinach, chard, that kind of,
no, you can't do lettuce. Lettuce is all water.
Yeah, not lettuce. I have dehydrated cabbage. I wasn't really happy with the way it turned out, but I have done it.
I want to freeze dry cabbage and make
that needs to be blanched.
I want to freeze dry raw cabbage and then rehydrate it with a vinegar based dressing. And let the vinegar soak. No oil. You can't use oil because oil is too big. The molecules are too big. It won't go in. It coats it and doesn't let any water in. So you want to put dry, crunchy things.
Put the vinegar in, and then right before serving it, add the oil and
once the vinegar rehydrates it, yep, sure. Then you throw your oil and seasonings and stuff in there, and you'll have coleslaw.
But herbs, when I dehydrate herbs, I do not blanch them. They're not. That's not something you blanch to dehydrate.
All right, I'm bringing up some pictures here on the side, and I'm just what I'm finding interesting is the two main things they talk about and show pictures of for blanching: string beans and broccoli.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen spinach yet. I haven't seen zucchini. Oh, I got carrots here. Well, and tomatoes now.
Oh, yeah. If you don't do carrots, they turn black in the dehydrator.
Yeah. And they shrivel up and look really bad.
So let me pop this up here. So, and here you got your picture, fresh versus blanched.
Same with broccoli, Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Anything in the cabbage family, any leafy green that you
now eat. If you're like, we'll buy fresh spinach and
peas,
it won't
cauliflower.
Go in the freezer.
Yep.
We'll buy fresh spinach. It won't go in the freezer anywhere. No, it goes right in the pot with a little bit of garlic and onions, and I'll put a pile of spinach in there and put like an ounce of water in there, put the lid on it, and now you got like a cup.
I also don't blanch onions, and I don't blanch peppers.
Now you don't have to blanch onions as long as you're going to cook them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes to onions, two things come to mind: dehydrated and freeze dried.
Yeah.
I can them too.
My wife gets these number 10 cans from the LDS Bishop Storehouse, and she gets a case at a time.
Oh.
Of what? Onions?
Diced onions.
Yeah. I got a wicked deal on a 50-pound bag of red onions, and I chopped them up and threw them in a freeze dryer, and they're in half-gallon jars now. My wife, red onion powder is like impossible to find, and it's stupid money when you find it. So if she wants red onion powder, I'll just pop a jar open, take a cup or so out of it, throw it in my spice grinder, turn it into red onion powder, and she uses it in some special dressing recipe she has. Yeah. It's so good. Oh, God.
Yes, Sandy, pea pods are one that you want to blanch.
Yes.
Because I noticed in this picture here, they got the little like snap pea ones. I mean, yeah.
Sugar snap peas or,
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Aiden's in the house now. They're it's just, interesting when you start just looking to see what they have picture-wise. It's like, oh, there's peas in that. Oh, there's carrots there. And, interesting. There is one of the pictures says Guide to Blanching and Freezing Vegetables, free PDF. Here.
Who wrote the book?
I'm trying to read.
McCormick?
No. Getty Stewart?
Okay.
Hang on. I'm going into it's opening the page to it. Yes, here we go. Getty Stewart. It's a she. Mm-hmm. And this is her page. But yeah,
no clue.
Free you get a grab your free PDF. Yeah. So
give me your email address and you get free everything after that.
Yeah. This is GettyStewart.com guide to blanching. So if you want a freebie one, go in there and just download it.
See in the picture, I also do blanch my cubes of squash before I throw them in.
Yeah.
Now, if I haven't freeze dried them yet, we're gonna. When the everybody initially is like, I got zucchini, great for like a week or two. Then all of a sudden it's like, I don't want any more zucchini. So the table at my house. Yeah, the table at my wife's hospital loads up with zucchini and yellow squash because nobody wants it anymore. She's like, I told her, I said, that happens, bring it home. She's like, but you don't like. I'm like, oh, I'll eat it. I said, bring it home. I'm going to slice them up and freeze dry and make you zucchini chips and yellow squash chips. They really don't have much flavor by themselves. You can put cinnamon on them, or you use them as a chip to dip out your salsa sauce.
What was that, Tammy?
You sprinkle them with ranch dressing mix.
Ah.
They have wonderful ranch chips.
So basically, you go to Sam's Club or Costco, you get that big gallon container of ranch.
Or you make it yourself. Yes, and then you sprinkle that on while they're still damp.
No, it's a ranch powder, not the ranch dressing.
Yes, the ranch powder.
The seasoning mix.
Yeah,
yes, the seasoning mix. Yeah, you can buy it at Sam's Club with the big containers.
Yep.
Or you can buy it. It's easier to make it.
Hidden Valley Ranch dressing powder mix. Yeah.
You can make it. And you sprinkle that on them, and then you have ranch flavored chips. And they're so good that way. That is so good. I'm echoing. I can hear somebody else has me on.
Might have been my phone right next to the microphone. How about now?
Yeah. No, I just heard for a second there. Yeah, that works really well. I just do 2 cups and put them grate them, stick them in 2-cup packages, stick them in the freezer. My daughter always said, "Mom, your spaghetti sauce always tastes better." And I know you bought Prego at the store. Love you, Prego. When I'm out of my own, which I'm out this time of year right now. When I'm out of my own homemade, I buy Prego. And she's like, "But I buy it and it doesn't taste the same." Yeah, that's because I put zucchini. I could put 2 cups of zucchini in every can of stuff I bring home out of the freezer. She's like, "Mom," I'm like, "Well, you had to get vegetables somehow."
Yeah, tell her what's in baby sauce now.
I just saw another one here. Asparagus spears.
Yes.
Being blanched.
Yep. Blanched.
Make sure with asparagus you find out where the hard part ends and the softer part starts and snap it off. You don't want to blanch the hard end of it because then you can't tell the difference, and you want to chewing on fibers for 5.
Yeah. But save those ends. You can can them and they soften up a little bit.
A little bit.
Now
you blanch them and you throw them in the food processor and make cream of asparagus soup.
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. Mix them up. The asparagus soup.
I'm checking it.
I've been taking my son out and giving him driving time while I eyeball the ditches.
The ditches?
For asparagus. Wild asparagus.
Oh. I'm like eyeballing for what? For where the car's going to go when he's driving?
Well, I'm yelling at him to get away from the ditch. I mean, I'm so close up to it. I'm like, dude, this 4-wheel drive truck, it might go in that ditch, but it's going to be harder to get it out with you behind the wheel than me. So just don't do it.
Be a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Now,
don't do it.
I'm looking here at it, and one of the things here I see some other cute things here too, but generally when I put in blanching squash before freezing, and they show yellow zucchini, they show some crookneck, they show some regular green zucchini, they show patty pan.
Yep.
All those, and then I see one picture of banana squash and one picture of pumpkin.
You have to cook it to peel it anyway. So you're basically blanching it when you peel it.
Yeah. So, but
it's not necessarily a water blanch. It may be an oven blanch.
Yeah.
So you got zucchini. Looks like deep fried zucchini chips. But is there a difference for stuff that you're going to have between summer and winter squashes for blanching?
No.
Okay, well, so yes, there should be, because zucchini and regular yellow squash that we all know as yellow squash is a very soft, very porous vegetable. Winter squash, like acorn squash, butternut's the most common one. That's a hard squash. They're harder than potatoes. So you got to blanch them a little longer to make sure they're not cooked through but blanched through. Depends on how big you chop it.
Yeah.
Doing giant chunks, it's going to take a little while. If you're doing little like 1/2-inch cubes, sure, 3 minutes you're done. As long as the water stays boiling, don't overload your pot when you're blanching. If you got like 10 pounds of something to blanch and you only have a 2-gallon pot, you do it in small batches.
Yeah, cycle it through.
Yep, and then pull it out, throw it in the cold water, and let it sit, and just leave it in the cold ice water, and then wait for the water to come back to a boil again. And do it again. It takes a while. It's not quick.
No. And blanching is so hot in the summer. That's an outside kitchen activity.
Ooh, that's not a problem, Angels. Oh, hubby's a driving truck up in Wisconsin. Well, at least it's not wintertime driving up there in Wisconsin.
Mm.
Yeah.
Traffic in Wisconsin is horrible, though.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I don't know what it is. Their roads are more. I don't know what it is. They're more cars on rural roads there than even here.
And there's a section here on how to blanch leafy greens. And you got kale, you got spinach, you got all the different chards.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody saying how to do collard greens as well.
Yeah.
All the dark leafy greens, not lettuce. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spinach is like borderline of lettuce. That's about the thinnest and the softest, the most supple, whatever green leafy veg there is. Everything else is harder, so you really need to blanch the other stuff. Spinach only if you're freezing. If you're going to eat it in a salad, don't blanch it.
Yeah.
The same with foraged greens. Somebody asked me the other day, and I can't remember. I think it's like 16 pounds to a canner load of greens, and that's a lot of blanch. That's like a bushel basket.
Yeah,
get a canner load of greens. But yeah, you have to blanch nettles. You have to blanch dandelion greens if you're canning them. So just
turnip
do it
greens.
Just like
I'm just going through just reading stuff. Turnip greens is another one listed here.
Yeah, radish greens.
Beet tops.
Yeah. Beet tops. Yep.
Dandelions.
Great.
Yep. Dandelions and nettles are the two.
Beet tops are better if you blanch them and then make pickles with them.
Yes.
With the stems.
Or
the stems, not necessarily the leaves, but the stems. But they're great on top of a salad.
Or also, those are wonderful to blanch them, dehydrate them, powder them, and put them in your smoothies.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a reason why out there on the patio, under that metal roof cover we got over the entire patio, is going to be a propane stove, a natural gas one that I tweaked the jets on to turn into propane, as well as the Camp Chef propane things out there. We'll be doing canning outdoors, and we'll be doing the blanching for freezing outdoors. And
I saw a hack the other day. I don't have a windscreen because I didn't buy the better quality camp stove. Guy went to the hardware store and got a stovepipe, cut it down the side so that when he sets his pan in there, it's the big one, the 8-inch. Mm-hmm. He has an 8-inch saucepan or a 6-inch saucepan. He cut a V in the side all the way down to where that saucepan sits right on the stove, but makes it a little mini windscreen right around the burner.
There you go. Hey, I sent the two of you when I was shopping at that store for that. I was getting sleeping bags because mine are like 25 years old and are no good. But I sent you both the picture of the Camp Chef stove that was on sale there.
Oh yes, I saw that.
If you want one, let me know. I'll stop and pick one up and bring it with me. But I know they're a little pricey.
I can actually. It's a little bit cheaper here. Not much.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, if I had not found the one I got from Amazon, I was going to have to drive and get that one because it's still the one I got is cheaper, obviously, because it doesn't have the windscreen.
Right.
All right. Back to
what they're talking about, folks, is online at sportsmans.com, the Camp Chef 2-burner, and that's what you get, the windscreen, you get the legs and all the other fun stuff to it.
Yep.
We've used the snot out of ours, just cooking outdoors to keep the kitchen from getting hot.
I destroyed 2 of them in 10 years.
Yeah.
Cooking for my friends and stuff like that. And I have a brand new one that's 20 years old. Hasn't been used yet, but that's going out to the cabin with my custom-made half-inch plate steel flat top I had made up way back in the day. That thing will last forever. You can park a tank on it.
Yeah. I'm on my 3rd, but I did lose 2
And Resourceful Living Homestead came in on your side, Tammy.
Hey, hello.
And Diana, you just got an ad for Azure Standard.
Yay. I'm going to be seeing those. So is Mark in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now,
wonderful people. I love him. Him and his wife will both probably be there. And last year she gave me coffee. Oh my goodness. That's the coffee beans. No, I guess it wasn't the coffee beans I used. But yeah. Oh my goodness. The world's best coffee. Just so you know. And I love coffee.
Now, you want to see how bad this guy down here's sense of humor is?
Oh, come on. What did I say?
I'm careful. I'm broadcasting to my channel.
I got those on Temu. Those are the best drill bits ever. Jamie's going, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Well,
I know what I'm looking at. I'm just like, yeah. You have to remember my dad was a contractor. He did mostly cement, concrete. Right. But I never lived in a finished house. So on my list of, yes, I am a jack of all trades. I have bent some drill bits and made one look kind of like that, but I've never bought them.
That's
like that.
I saw that. I'm like, oh, Gil will love this one.
We've taken some 1-inch drill bits, working on trying to drill out the ripper pin on a thing on a dozer and stuff, and got through there. And all of a sudden, the cable above it, some slacked it because we need to lower it down. So no, and now the drill bit goes like this.
Yeah, and you ain't getting it out without a torch.
Oh yeah, you could get it out. You just got to lift it back.
You got to lift it back up, but you take it out. It's like, well, there's $5 down the drain. Yeah. Or for the 1-inch, there's $45 down the drain.
Yeah.
Or in the tractor.
Yeah.
Somewhere that rattle you hear.
Yeah, don't worry about that. It's just a drill bit. It's not.
It's okay. It's Lewis. We couldn't get the magnet in there.
Lewis is here.
Hey, it's the Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, speaking of tractors, I got mine back this afternoon while I was inside watching the kids. They didn't even come knock on the door. The guy just brought it in, dropped it off, because I went down, paid for it, the repairs and stuff on it, talked to him about it, talking about some new tractors, what's new with Coyote and stuff like that. And anyways, he goes, I'll be out there. I'll probably drop it off, this afternoon see if I've got a rental to pick up or whatever in the area, because it's a half hour away. Where the thing is, and I look out there, it's like, oh, my tractor's back. Ooh, they pressure washed it. Oh, it looks pretty and new again.
I can't believe how dirty it was.
Take a picture. That the dust is gonna blow by in a few minutes.
I gotta bring my pressure washer out to the cabin and hook it up to the generator and a 55-gallon bucket of stream water to clean mine off, because I got no way to really wash it out there unless I do that. And it needs it. It's so dusty, and in the container, the container gets condensation air and drips on it. So, it looks terrible. Runs great, looks terrible.
Yep. Yeah. So, anyways, so I can be working on putting about a yard and a half. I think I got about a yard and a half of good quality manure compost to go into the out in front where I had the zucchini last year, and I'm gonna be doing pumpkins. I got one watermelon has sprouted and it looks really good, so I in a pot. So I got to be planting all that stuff. So
Tammy, the AI said blanching fruit. Aside from the fact that tomato is a fruit, why would you blanch fruit?
You get the fuzz off the peaches?
That's for skinning them.
Only to skin it. Only like it said, technically blanching when you boil it to peel the skins off like peaches and maybe.
Yeah, and that's only for like 20 or 30 seconds, not.
Yeah, it's not what I call blanching, but the AI called that blanching. I can't think of a fruit that I blanch. Even if I dehydrate them, I don't blanch them.
I just like the AI because it's not so.
Yeah. Something just popped in my mind. I don't know anything about it. I don't like it. My wife does. My daughter does. I do not like avocados.
You don't.
I like avocado. I like avocado oil in my mayonnaise because it's a lot healthier. But how do you do that? How would you go about processing all the different ways of processing avocado?
You don't.
There are not many ways to process avocado.
I freeze dry slices. In order to do that, I do the usual, run the knife around the whole thing, pop the stone out, use a spoon, pull it out, slice it up, lay them out, and I spray them with a lemon water thing to keep them from turning brown. I put them on the freeze dryer trays, and I throw them in a freeze dryer. And they come out looking like avocado. You can dehydrate it. I've never done it, but you need to put some lemon juice on there so they don't turn black. But in dehydrator, there's so much time, air, and a little bit of temperature blowing across it. They're probably still going to turn brown.
Yeah.
I cut them in half, leave the pit in, vacuum seal them. You can dip the out because they're cut in half. You can dip the inside half with a little lemon juice. Cut them in half, vacuum seal them, leave the pit in there. If you're going to make it into like guacamole, leave the pit in it for freezing.
Why?
It keeps it from turning brown.
Really?
Yes. And I vacuum seal them, put them in bags. If I'm going to slice them, I vacuum seal them, put them in bags with a pit in the bag with them. It works. I don't know the science behind it. It's kitchen witchcraft. I don't know what else to say.
I made the creamiest guacamole. I made regular guacamole. My onions and tomato bits and all my seasonings and that. And a lot of lemon juice. I freeze dried it. So it turned like there was no moisture left in it. When it came out, I put it back in a bag and I ran a rolling pin over it. So there were no chunks. It was just smooth. And I just added a little water to it. It was creamy. My wife loved it. I'm not a guacamole fan. I'll eat it. But she was like, oh my God, how did you get it so creamy? I'm like, oh, it only took about 40 hours in the freeze dryer.
So I live in Michigan. Avocados are super expensive.
Yeah.
So we are not it was not something I ever ate growing up. It was not a food that my parents ever served, ever.
No, neither did we.
Ever. Maybe those Mexican layered dips that had a little tiny layer of guacamole, that might have been, I may have gotten it later in life that way. I went to Bermuda. My cousin was living in Bermuda. My sister and I traveled to visit her, and we went to a house party there, and they had guacamole, which it was probably the most expensive guacamole ever made because all their food is imported. And I tried it because I was in company and, wanted to be polite. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And so I have been in love with avocados ever since that trip. And now I even like avocados on toast. I will just use it like butter. I will butter my toast with creamed avocado. So when I can get them on sale, I freeze them.
Yeah, I did the same thing with hummus. Mm-hmm. I was never really a hummus fan. My daughter made some once, and I was like, that was really good. But I'll buy the organic canned chickpeas. Mm-hmm. And I'll put them in a bowl with some water, and I'll get the skins off them. Although it really doesn't matter, I throw them in a freeze dryer, and then I powder them. Instead of, you don't have to throw it in the mixer to try to. And you always want it. It's always grainy and gritty, but it's like mayonnaise. It's like, my daughter's like, wow. I'm like,
use the juice from the chickpea can to reconstitute it if you can.
I could probably freeze dry the juice with it. So
yeah, it makes it creamier. Sandy, I do blanch my sweet corn. You missed it at the beginning. It's a love-hate relationship with blanching. I go back and forth, and it's just like some years you really got to blanch it, other years you don't. But I do a lot of it. So I'm not sure. I go back and forth with that one. But
do you blanch it before you can your sweet corn, Tammy? I had to go there. You know that.
I don't can sweet corn. I can
Why?
feel sweet corn turns brown and tastes crunchy if you try to can sweet corn. You have to do it at a certain stage of unripeness, not because the sugars in it will caramelize. But back to the hummus, I hate tahini. So if you leave out the tahini, so here is how I do my chickpeas that it's not quite hummus. I got this recipe out of a really good foods for mother and baby. So for a pregnancy diet book, you take the chickpeas, you drain them, save the liquid, canned, already cooked. You fry your onions and garlic in a little bit of oil in a saucepan. And then you put your chickpeas in there and you mash them and fry them and add enough liquid back to make them creamy. And then you use that as a spread on toast. My dad, who hated hummus, absolutely loves chickpea sandwiches.
Wow. See,
and Bushcraft saying on your side.
Hey, Mr. Charles. Hey, Mr. Charles, I have a question for you. Do you need a ticket, or did you get your own ticket for the summit? Did Wanda give you one, or do I need to provide you with one this year? Just asking. I'll make sure you have one either way. I'm assuming you're coming. I need to message you, but I've been busy.
And the other Tammy just came in with a question.
You are supposed to blanch your potatoes before canning. Do I blanch my potatoes before canning? No. So the 300 pounds of potatoes I canned that I am still eating were not blanched before they were canned, and they are perfectly fine. But you are supposed to.
Would that change? Oh, he needs a ticket.
All right. Then I have one for you. I counted you in my count, and then I realized you might have got your own. So I did count you in my count. So I have one.
Yeah. And while you all are going to be there in Ohio for the summit, I will be in California with the staff sergeant that week.
Yeah. You guys should. She's got to retire so that next time you can come. Yeah. So Chris, I want you retired, Chris.
Right now she's taking a quotes. She's taking unemployment, doing her sending out resumes and turning stuff in. For I think how many weeks she got? 23 weeks or something like that. So that's what she's doing, unless she gets one of the temporary companies she should put stuff in with. Unless they call and say, hey, all right, we got one for you at your rate. Boom. They want someone with your experience in there to fix things. So,
well, hopefully she will next year. Maybe you guys can come.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Well, if I ever find that winning lottery ticket, yeah, we will be there in a what do I want to call it? A road Titanic.
Yeah. So last night I come home. My wife, I told my wife she knew where I was going. And she never really thought much of it. She's like, okay, it's some food prepper show, whatever. Well, she found the website and she went on there. Of course, she gets home last night and comes in with this stack of paperwork she printed at the hospital. Tells me, I have your itinerary. I'm like, what do you mean you have my itinerary? These are all the people I want you to listen to when you're at the food show. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, sweetie, I'm going to be recording most of them, but whatever. I said, tell you what, I said, next year. She's like, yeah, I want to go. I'm like, well, you ain't going this year because Richard and I are going. Next year, we'll go. Well, I don't want to sleep on the ground. I'm like, we can sleep in a tent or we'll just rent one of those little, whatever, RV things. And
RV USA rentals. Yeah,
that's it. So we'll rent one of those. She's like, I could do that. I'm like, I know you could. So she wants to go next year. So we're going next year, too.
We didn't get a bed and breakfast this year. one year I got a bed and breakfast. I really need to like save some of the money I get throughout the year for stuff and then do a bed and breakfast, and we can all stay at the bed and breakfast.
Where are you staying? In the campground?
I don't know. I do not know.
Okay. Well, if you have to cook your own food, let me know. I'll bring a couple extra jars. How many people are you coming with? Just you or?
It's me, Becca, Courtney, and Dustin. But Courtney and Dustin do a lot of their own.
Well, no, I'm just saying you're okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying I'll bring a couple jars of freeze-dried raw eggs for you, so you can at least have breakfast.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be. I would love that.
If you're cooking, you just have to put it in another canning jar and add some water to it, shake it up, cold water, and let it sit for a few hours, and you got scrambled eggs ready to dump in a pan.
Oh, that'd be great, because then not having, yeah.
We'll talk beforehand, because I'm just starting to make up my list of everything I need to bring. And if you're staying in a campground or somewhere, let me know. I'll make sure I bring.
I am not in a campground. I am in a hotel, I believe.
Okay, you're gonna be able to cook at the hotel, or do I have to cook it? Do you have to come to the campground in the morning where I'm cooking breakfast?
Are you forgetting who you're talking to? Well, one year we set up, Dustin and I set up the grill in the parking lot with our lawn chairs. At the far end outside, not like close to the building, obviously.
Yeah.
But out away from the building, we set it up with our lawn chairs. We're out there grilling steaks on the grill in the parking lot at the motel. Like, trust me.
Okay.
I know how to boil an egg in the coffee maker. Okay, but I've spent some time. I have spent some time in hotel life. Yeah. You keep forgetting.
Yeah.
I have a large.
We went to Florida one year and bought
life experiences.
We went to Florida one year and bought a hot plate and did that in a hotel because the food was just so expensive.
Oh, I have my hot plate.
There you go. You're welcome.
I just bought one. I bought one at a garage sale. I have an electric hot plate. Oh my gosh, I forgot I had it. And I've been like trying to figure out how to do something in the camper and without gas, because I don't have propane hooked up right now. I got to go fill my tank. Oh, you just saved my life. I'm making spaghetti tomorrow on the little cooktop.
Okay. But what Aiden said, not Aiden, Glenn said in there about bad things going on in California right now. I've been seeing a lot of news articles pop up and stuff, the rioting, the burning, and everything else going on in there. That's nowhere near where I'm heading at, because where I'm heading at, there's a bunch of rednecks.
And there is a map out there. There is a website, actually. Went to the website of all the cities they're doing their June 18th, whatever, no king or something. And I'll send you the link if you want. You can look at it and be like, okay.
Yeah, send me the link.
Cities within an hour of me, including my city, are actually planning something. So that ought to be interesting.
But here's the interesting
town I'm living in will do something.
Trump has sent the Marine Corps into LA to help. Yeah. So, anyways,
there was something they were saying that it's like, it's not the protesters, it's the professional protesters that are doing this.
It's like the paid protesters.
Okay, there should be no such thing. Okay, well, that's the Thursday night topic, but I don't believe in paid protesters. I think there's another term for that.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, but that's a Thursday night.
It's called criminals.
Yeah,
but
that was not as severe as the term I wanted to use, because it starts with a T and ends with ist.
Yeah, what I used to deal with at Homeland Security.
Yes.
Okay. So coming up here in a couple minutes, I'm trying to find it here real quick here. Lee, should I find it? Cold War Prepper. Yeah. All right. So Lee's going live here tonight in a little bit. The survival theory, chapter 7. The poop has hit the fan. What do I do now? That's chapter 7 there on Cold War Prepper. For those who want to go over there and check out what Lee's got going on tonight. Coming up this week, tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, my channel, my other one, we're going to be talking about generator versus power stations. And power stations are what some people call solar generators. They're neither generators or solar.
By Jackery.
Yes. It's a power station. You can charge it. You can charge it by solar. You can charge it by your car. You can charge it by plugging it into the wall. That's a power station.
Yep.
So that's tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, Gray with an A. Thursday night is the Midnight Ride, also on Gray Man Prepping. Here on Camppatton Family Compound for Friday the 13th, we'll be going over Friday the 13th stuff, namely black and white movies that really scared the bejeebers out of you, but weren't gross and ugly. And I used to watch them as little kids. You know, my parents had no problem with us watching because there was no blood and gore.
No, it was all your imagination, and that was back in the day.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about, and we'll probably get to some more modern movies too, but that's what it's going to be going, and that's going to be coming from California. So I'm driving Friday morning, starting at
4 a.m.
4 o'clock in the morning, leaving here, driving there. So, and it's a 12.5-hour trip. So I will get there about an hour before it's supposed to go live.
Yay. If not, do it live from the truck while you're driving. That'll be fun.
Yeah. First, I got to get a Starlink satellite disc mounted on top the truck. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping is after the magnetic poles flip. What are your plans? Next Monday here, we're kind of taking a little break from it. They're going to be getting ready or en route to the summit. So, but it's also the 6-year anniversary of Camppatton Family Compound doing videos. So that's good. Next Monday is just going to be showing some of the old and very embarrassing videos shot with an El Cheapo $59 camera.
So during the week of the 18th and 19th, when Tammy and I are out there with all the other YouTube friends, there will probably be a live stream, at least one from Tammy's channel, maybe even from my channel. I haven't decided yet, but I will be recording everything on my GoPros, and Tammy's will probably go live. She'll just be like, "Here's my phone, do my live." Okay,
and that'll be Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, when are you on Wednesday? What day are you talking? Wednesday or Thursday?
And
both. Okay.
Both.
I do both.
Okay.
So,
Bros. So that's what's coming up here for the next week. And the following week, Wednesday and Thursday, Chef Tech and Rebel Canners, keep an eye out for their impromptu live streams going on from the Food Summit there in Ohio. Coraline, a very scary movie. I'm a wimp. I was surprised that my grandsons, especially Eli, loved that movie.
What, the scary movie?
Coraline. Yeah. Coraline. Of course, they also love Monster House. Addams Family. They are hooked on Addams Family animation movies right now.
Yeah, okay. Tell them watch the original Addams Families. I'm
trying to find it for them so they can actually see the original. Fun fact here on Addams Family. Lurch was not supposed to ever talk. But the director found in the first episode when it was going on, it was just kind of like dead. It was great now, nothing going on. And so when he did the rang, he walked in one time, he goes, "You rang," and he goes, "That's your dialogue."
That's it. That's all you're gonna say ever.
Just about, it's just about what it was. You rang.
And a couple grunts and groans every now and then.
My favorite horror movie is obscure, but my favorite horror movie is April Fool's Day.
Never heard of it, actually.
I'm trying to remember the year of that one. That was back in the 70s, wasn't it?
80s. 80s. Yep.
Right along. I think it came out in the same year or two as the first Valentine's Day.
Could thriller. Be. It was right after Freddy, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I think it came out with
Freddy 3. I love that one.
Yes, came out with Freddy 3. Yeah. But I really like it April Fool's Day, and it came out on April Fool's Day.
Of course
yeah.
it
did. Yeah, just like Friday, the first Friday the 13th came out on Friday the 13th.
Yep.
There is a reason for that. It helps push them out there. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun Friday. I have a lot of things going on at home this week. I will not be going live unless it's a pop-up random thing, because I got stuff going all week and trying to get ready. I'm packing for 2 trips, because the minute I come back from down there, I'm going somewhere else for another week. So
all right, sounds like fun.
So I have a lot of laundry to do this week.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my my gas dryer and my gas range, which were supposed to be delivered back last month on the
13th.
on the 27th of last month, are supposed to arrive Wednesday. We'll see if they arrive or not.
The 27th was only a week and a half ago. You make it sound so long ago. It was last month.
The first was almost a week and a half ago, but they delayed it 3 times.
That was the third delay on this.
That's because it's still in a container out in the Pacific somewhere.
No, it's still being manufactured in GE's facility for the dryer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they moved that from Greenville, Michigan to somewhere not in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, south of the border.
Yeah.
Or did they go north?
No, they went not here. Somewhere not here. Otherwise, I could have brought it with me part way.
Yeah. All righty, everyone. We're going to wrap it up here now. And so hopefully I will see you tomorrow over on Gray Man Prepping for generators versus power stations.
Go power stations.
See you later. Take care.